Hey everybody, how is it going? This is the Dark Space Corner here, and I just wanted to uh, talk about Final Fantasy XIV and the new player problem. At least I think it's a small problem. It's not a huge, major problem, but I've noticed that a lot of the players have, and I know a lot of people talk about this, but a lot of players have deteriorated because of Realm Reborn, and truthfully, I understand. Believe me, Realm Reborn is very tough to get through. It's not bad; it's just difficult in terms of pacing. But regardless, one of the aspects that I was thinking about was a different kind of system that maybe we can talk about and figure things out in terms of what to do with these new players that don't want to get through a Realm Reborn and want to get through stuff like Heaven's Ward and Stormblood and Shadowbringers. Now, I've been recently playing Star Wars: The Old Republic because I've finished catching up to Final Fantasy XIV, and I think that it is genuinely a good thing to take a break from time to time. So I was playing Star Wars, and I've noticed something interesting. I have the game subscribed. I'm subscribed for 30 days, and when you subscribe to Star Wars: The Old Republic, you gain access to not only all of the expansions, but you gain access to more races and all that kind of stuff. So when I was noticing that, I created a character, and something interesting is that when you create a character, you have three options. You can choose to start from a specific expansion, so you can start from, I think it's called Onslaught, which allows your character to get to level 70, created level 70 character. That way you have all of that content already unlocked, so you can start that newest expansion. If you're a returning player or if you're a new player, you can just go straight into it. But the fact that they gave you the option is probably my favorite part of the whole situation, because of the fact that it does more for the player than it does for the game. Because if the player likes the experience that they're getting in Onslaught, for example, then they can go back to Knights of the Fallen Empire, I think it's called, and they can get that story as well. And I've heard that Star Wars is kind of like Final Fantasy XIV in terms of the story department, where the story is actually important. So that's the reason why I've been thinking about it as much as I have been, is because I know a lot of people fall out of A Realm Reborn very easily, and that can lead to frustration on the newer players who want to get into this game, but they are not physically able to. Now, I'm talking from slight experience because I have a couple of friends in my friend circle who I was very excited to have come in, because 5.3 allowed the free trial players to go head to Heaven's Ward in level 60, so I thought that was the perfect opportunity. Now, the first problems that we're run into is the fact that everything is level gated behind story quests, because my friends just wanted to go straight into the good stuff. Ifrit, Shiva, um, Bahamut, good stuff like that. Now, I had to keep telling them, get through the story, guys. Otherwise, there's nothing else I can do for you. You have to get through the story. And I think that's kind of one of the biggest hurdles, is getting through that story so that both you and your friends can go ahead and do the content and have a good time doing dungeons and stuff like that. And I found that doing the dungeons with the friend group that I have was the best experience that they could have had, other than the fact that, of course, they had to get through the story. Now, some of them were interested in the story and some of them were not. And that's where we come to the discrepancy. I definitely believe that having an option to be able to skip past A Realm Reborn and going into Heaven's Ward when you start a character should be at least attempted. That way, players who are not interested can at least have all of the level 50 content with you, and you can just go straight through. Now, I know that there technically it exists and you have to pay money for it. I definitely don't know whether or not that's a good or a bad thing. Of course, you can always pay to get past Stormblood if you have a second alt or something like that. But the problem, it still remains. A new player will not want to have to purchase a $25, let's say for example, $25 um, a book to be able to skip past A Realm Reborn, or something along those lines. And I definitely think that that's a very large detriment to what is overall a very good MMO, especially when considering the fact that a lot of the content that these players want to play is dungeons or raids or PvP, but it's all level gated behind story content, which either they do care about but they have to slog through, or they don't care about and they definitely have to slog through, and they won't be able to get that same experience as somebody like you and me who really enjoys the game. That's having that issue solved is as simple as doing something like Star Wars: The Old Republic. Now I know Square is probably not going to do this because they do sell those level skips and the jump skips and stuff like that, and they definitely want to keep profitizing off of that. But I definitely believe that is the poor choice, unfortunately, in in having new players come and experience the game. But that's just what I have to say. At least that's what I've noticed. New players are definitely going to be in the minority when it comes to getting through a Realm Reborn. Now, I'm not saying that they can't get through a Realm Reborn and enjoy it, you know what I mean? But I know a majority of the new players might not feel the same way we did when we first started. It's different, it's a very different dynamic, and I think that at least having different avenues of exploration to get past that content should be explored at the very least by Square, instead of having it be through a paywall. Um, but of course, that's just me. I don't know whether or not you guys would agree or disagree. I would like to hear what you guys have to say. If not, that's okay. That's what this is. This is a conversation that I wanted to have, and we did, and I wanted to get it out there because I am a big fan of Final Fantasy XIV as an MMO. I'm also a big fan of Star Wars as an MMO. I like MMOs. I've been recently getting into them, but I just wanted to somehow get these feelings out there and maybe start a discussion with you guys and see where this goes. Other than that, though, I have nothing else to add. If you have made it through a Realm Reborn and you're watching this and you're just kind of seeking validation, congratulations on making through a Realm Reborn. Hopefully, you're getting through the patch quests, or you're into Heaven's Ward now. And I hope you enjoy Heaven's Ward, because Heaven's Ward really is genuinely very good and interesting, at least in terms of what I've experienced. And if you are making it through a Realm Reborn, please keep going. It's okay. It's gonna get better. I promise. That's the best kind of advice I can give you. Do not force yourself to play. Play at your own pace, because if you force yourself, you're going to burn out and you're never gonna come back. I promise you that is exactly what is gonna happen, and I've had it happen to me and a couple of my friends before, and I definitely think that it's not worth burning yourself out for what could potentially become one of your favorite MMOs in the future when you get to Heaven's Ward and Stormblood and Shadowbringers for sure. But that's going to be it from me from the Dark Space Corner. I hope you guys enjoyed this little rant and unscripted kind of conversation, and I hope you guys enjoy and keep following the light of the crystal.